Good evening and welcome to our Smyrna Town Council workshop for January to set our agenda for our February meeting. Before we move into our items for discussion, tonight our Pledge of Allegiance is going to be done by Scout Troop 640. If you will all stand with us for prayer and pledge. Mark will do our pledge and then we'll ask the troop to do Mark will do the prayer and the pledge will be done by our troop. Mark?
Yes, ma'am. Father, we just come to you today once again, Lord, with grateful hearts. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you for this beautiful town that you allow us to live in. Father, we ask that you continue to watch over everybody that serves this town in the manner of protection, the fire and our police department, all the employees that do the work throughout the day. Just keep us safe and continue to watch over us and give this council the discernment and the wisdom to make the proper decisions for our town and our citizens. We ask now that you continue to forgive us of our sins and look over us and watch over us all. It's these things we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you all will come forward for me, I've got some certificates for you. Hi, come right on, and if you'll face that way we can see yourself on TV right there. Okay, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and if you want to tell where you go to school, and then when we get to the end, I'll let you talk a little bit about the troop. How about that? Okay.
Hi, my name is Kaylee LaFlamme, and I go to Smyrna Middle.
And what grade?
6th.
Hi, my name is Justine LaFlamme, and I go to Smyrna Middle School in 6th grade.
Oh, y'all kind of look like you may be kin to each other, maybe? Maybe, that's what I figured. That's what I was going to say, a little twinish.
Hi, my name is Samantha Shaw, and I'm homeschooled. I'm in 7th grade.
And do you like your teachers? Oh! So do we need to have a little discussion maybe with your teachers?
My principal's a little strict sometimes.
Oh, principal's a little strict. Oh, you're pretty quick. That's good. Okay, I'll let you all tell a little bit of your introduce yourself, and then I'll tell a little bit about
I'm Tim LaFlamme, and I stay-at-home dad, take care of the kiddos. And this is my wife, Heather LaFlamme. And
Yep,
you can
I'm
talk
Heather
a little bit about
LaFlamme.
yourself.
I am Scout Master for Troop 640. We are the first all-female Scout troop, Scouts BSA troop here in Smyrna. We're about to reach our 1-year anniversary in February, so I say that we're a small pack, but we're small and mighty. And we are definitely looking for additional girls that would love to come out and join us, ages 11 through 18. So.
Thank you all so much for being with us. And to what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you all, I know one could not be here tonight, so there is a certificate, and then I know you guys are going to stay for a little while, and then we're going to talk a little bit afterwards. So thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, I hope she doesn't end up in the principal's office in the morning, so. Okay, so we will move on to our items for discussion. Our first item is approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute a construction contract with J. Cumbia Construction Incorporated for upgrading the 1R lift station. Mike?
Yes, ma'am. So this is the long-awaited upgrade of the 1R lift station. This is our largest lift station. It does also serve Nissan. We did accept bids, and enclosed in your packet is the recommendation letter from Thomas and Hutton and also the bids.
Questions for Mike on this? Okay, we'll put that on the agenda and move on to item 2, which is approval of the terms of an authorization for the Public Works Department to submit an application for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers relative to the use of the Jefferson Springs Park for Boat Day for June 17th, 2023. Tom?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Yes, coming up this summer again, our annual Boat Day event, and this is a special event application that we have to submit to U.S. Army Corps to use Jefferson Park for the event.
Okay, questions for Tom on this? Has anybody talked to Chief Irvin about what's expected of him at the event, since he's the new employee?
Thank God.
Okay. Okay, we'll just let him be surprised by that then. Perfect. Okay, any questions for Tom on Boat Day? Okay, item 3, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an agreement with G-Works, formerly PubWorks.
Yes, we have a software called PubWorks that we keep all of our work orders in and send that out to the different departments to be able to handle different problems or projects that go on. And PubWorks recently got purchased by a company called G-Works, and they're asking us to sign an agreement with them.
Any questions about G-Works?
Does this extend the existing agreement, or is it just changing the name?
I think it's just a change in name only.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll put that on the agenda and move on to item 4, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute change order number 2 for the Fire Hall 1 project.
Yes, this was additional fees that were encumbered by the contractor while the construction was on hold temporarily. They are back out working on it, working on the walls and getting ready to put the roof back on.
I know there was some concerns with this, I would say, and is everything,
We're on track now. We had a little issue with, our plans didn't give us all the information we needed to get the sprinkler system approved by the state fire marshal's office. It's kind of uncanny, came into the fire department and shut down the project. It took us about 60 days to get everything that we needed wrapped up to resubmit the plans to the state. So these costs that were incurred really were not contractor fault. Probably laid more on the architect not getting some stuff to us on a timely basis. So we feel like it's one of those things that we're just going to have to work through. So
I just want to make sure that we are conveying to our architects that we don't want to have this anymore.
we've had some of those conversations, Mayor.
I just want to make sure they know council feels the exact same way. So,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. We'll move on to item 5, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a 2-year agreement for Fostering Health Solutions, FHS, to contract DEI services. Hey, Jeff.
Yep, Mayor and Council, if you don't mind, I want to speak a little bit to this. This is a situation where we feel strongly from the town management structure and the HR department that DEI, that's kind of I guess for lack of better terms, a buzzword in the marketplace right now, but it's diversity, equality, and inclusion training. It covers a lot of landscape, not just diversity. This is not really kind of a training that you would think about typically that we'd contract for, where somebody would just come in and present information. Actually, what we want to do, and this company is who we've deemed that we can work with. Jeff and I have had conversations about that on the way we could structure this deal. But basically, they're going to come in and do an assessment. This is something we're going to put all of our management team. It'll be mandatory for the management team to go through this training. But we're going to do an assessment with this company to kind of get a feel of where we're at in those realms. I think we feel comfortable that, you know, things like equal pay for the male and female employees is in pretty good shape, but we just want to make sure we're covering all those bases. And then what we'll do after we do the assessment, then we'll come back with this company and actually put into place some training. Our goal would be to put us in a place as a town that we've built a culture that allows us to be relevant in the area of DE&I type issues.
And then hopefully what we can do going forward then is look at some other means of training that, for lack of better terms, are kind of off the shelf. You know, I know in corporate America, we went through some of this years ago. We did something similar to this, and then after that, we had some mandated yearly refresher type things that maybe could be done through the internet or those kind of things. But I think this is a very strong position for us to take. I think it's something that's very much needed. And it's something that, you know, as your town manager, I would highly recommend that we do. So
Great.
Jeff was going to talk, I think, a little bit more.
Anything else, Jeff?
Brian did a pretty good job there. I don't know how much I could echo to it. You know, diversity training's been around since the 1960s with the civil rights movement, and some of the laws that came into place at that time. So it's not new necessarily. And we've done diversity training from time to time. But really, as Brian said, this is kind of a deeper dive. You know, this company, this is what they're experts in. And so they'll be able to give us a lot of good information, help us write a strategic plan. So moving forward, we have a good idea of where we need to be and how we can get there. So I'm really excited about it. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have, or Brian can as well.
Questions?
Is it, I think it's a great thing. Is it budgeted for this year, or is it something we got to budget for next year, or are we just taking it out of a different account? Or what?
We've got some money in this year's budget that was in the training that we haven't used. We're going to start with that, and then we'll add it into the, because as you see, it's a 2-year dive. So, yeah, there will be money added to the budget going forward. But we do have enough money in the budget to get us started because, you know, we're already, by the time we get this contract in place and get it approved by the council, you know, we're probably talking at best somewhere around March, possibly April to get started. So we'll be so far into the budget, we've got some dollars that we can utilize for that. And again, I think the one thing that I keep going back to is this is not just a focused training, it's more about building a culture.
Will we get the opportunity to review whatever recommendations that come back, or is that kind of outside the scope?
No,
Council?
in fact, my anticipation would be, you know, we'd like to have the council participate in this training.
That was gonna be my question. Was it gonna go from all the way
I
from
would
the
like to,
top?
yeah, I think everybody that's considered part of the management would definitely be part of this training.
Other questions or comments? We really appreciate you all diving into this and bringing this back to us. So I'm glad that we're going to be putting this on the agenda. Okay, item 6, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract amendment with Care Here for on-site medical services.
Sure, Mayor and Council, as you may recall, Care Here merged with Premise Health last year, and we had never updated the contract with them. And so they reached out to me and said, hey, there's a couple things we need to get, kind of housekeeping things they need to get wrapped up. So they've sent us an amendment to the contract. Our rates still stay the same, our providers are still the same. It's just some updated language on the contract that needs to come to council for approval.
Questions for Jeff on this? Okay, we'll put that on the agenda and move on to item 7, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the amendment of the Municipal Code Title 18, Water and Sewer, Chapter 3, Water and Wastewater Tap Fee and Rate Schedule, Section 304, Special Assessment Zone. This is a first reading. Jeff, you
Mayor, I
taking
can
this?
handle this. Obviously, with Olive Branch coming online, this is a special assessment for that area, which is $2,900 plus the current base zone fee. And you also notice, in working with Mark Parker, we made some amendments just so they reflect accurately in the existing Harts Branch and also Sam Griffin Road Basin, that it's a 400 plus current base zone fee in Sam Griffin, and then just adds the extra language of plus the current base zone fee in the Harts Branch area.
Questions on this?
How much longer is the Harts Branch assessment in place, Jeff?
That I don't know. It is built. Mike, do you know on Harts Branch?
Time frame on Harts Branch?
Can you just email us and let us know? That'd be great. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we'll put item 7 on the agenda and move on to item 8, which is consideration of an ordinance to amend Municipal Code Title 10, Animal Control, Chapter 2, Dogs and Cats, Section 209, sale of dogs and cats, and this is a first reading. Jeff?
Yes, Mayor and Council. There has been, the City of Franklin and Metro Nashville have enacted ordinances. This would not affect any retail business that's operating at this time in Smyrna, but it would prohibit the retail sale of dogs and cats in an effort to avoid puppy mills and the other issues that they have throughout the nation with those types of possible animal abuse. It would allow, say, these stores to utilize animal rescue organizations or animal shelters to adopt those pets, but it would prohibit any pet store from coming in to sell at a commercial retail. Would not affect breeders, anything like that.
Questions for Jeff on this? Okay, we'll put that on our agenda and move on to item 9, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of property located on tax map 28L, Group C, parcel 16.01 from R2 to C1, requested by Jeremy Byrd. The property requested to be rezoned contains approximately 4/10 of an acre and is located at 102 Wright Street, and this is a second reading. Kevin?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is at 102 Wright Street. It's about 200 feet west of the intersection with Front Street. This land use plan for this area is our depot district character area, which is kind of that real mixture of uses and services, kind of more urban setting as far as lot sizes, setbacks, that type of thing. Surrounding zoning is a mix of R2 and C1. There is no adequate fire flow at this time, but so development of this property is not possible until that fire flow issue does get resolved, which would be in place regardless of what the zoning is. The Planning Commission did review this, did recommend approval. Nothing has changed on this since you looked at it on first reading.
Any additional questions? We've already been through this. Okay, we'll move on to item 10, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of property located on tax map 27P, Group B, parcel 19.00, from R1 with H1 to C4 with an H1, requested by Sandra Elias. The property requested to be rezoned contains 32/100ths of an acre and is located at 104 Hazelwood Drive, and it is a second reading.
Yeah, this is in the same general neighborhood as the previous request. It's on Hazelwood, about 180 feet southeast of the intersection with College Street. Again, it's the same character area as far as the depot district in this area. This parcel is currently within the historic district, and that would remain. That would not be changed with this base zoning request. Surrounding zoning is a mix of R1, C2, and C4. There is a single-family house currently located on this property, and just as with the previous request, adequate fire flow is not obtainable at this time, so any development beyond that existing residential use would not be possible until that gets resolved. The Planning Commission did review this, did recommend approval, 6-4-1 against. And again, nothing has changed on this since you looked at it on first reading.
Council, any additional questions since we last saw this?
Do we have any idea what she's going to utilize the property for?
They were looking at some sort of hair salon type use, kind of a neighborhood kind of business type use is what they were hoping to do there. We talked with them about the fire flow issue, and they're aware of all that, so that they know they're going to be on hold for a bit. But that's what they were looking at.
Other questions? Okay, we'll move on to item 11, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of property located on tax map 33, parcel 58.00, to go from R1 to PRD. It's requested by Clay Wallace. The property requested to be rezoned contains approximately 23.13 acres and is located at Fortitude Trail, and this is a second reading. Kevin?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a PRD request. Land use plan in this area is a medium-density, single-family residential development. Would be supported here. Surrounding zoning is a mix of R1, R3, and the Woodmont and Colony at Green Tree PRD that do exist as they've already been approved. This proposed PRD is for 70 single-family lots. Access would be from Fortitude Trail, as well as a proposed stub to a future section of Woodmont. Houses would have a front setback of 20, but the garages would be at least 35 feet. Water lines within this development would have to connect to the main at Skinner Drive in order to receive adequate fire flow. The layout does propose a connection to a street in Woodmont, which has been approved on a preliminary plat as a cul-de-sac. So that would have to change when that plat comes back in for final. The Planning Commission did review this, did recommend approval with that requirement that that stuff be connected into Woodmont, which would provide a second way in and out to this development versus just the one that they have currently. The Planning Commission, again, did recommend approval. Again, nothing has changed on this since you looked at it on first reading.
Any additional questions for Kevin on this?
Kevin, have you ever heard any more on that cul-de-sac?
I have not.
Okay.
So that I understand the requirement is that it's got to be connected if either Woodmont doesn't want to do that, or they can't come to an agreement, then it doesn't move forward? Or do they have to come back for?
They'll have to come back. I think the Planning Commission, as we talked about it that night, I think that's a preliminary plat. That's a phase that have just begun on phase 8. That's like phase 9 or 10. So my gut feeling is they'll probably have to come back with a revised preliminary anyway, because I don't think they're moving fast enough to get there before that approval expires. I think when that plat comes back in, we would just make that change at that time. I don't think there'll be an issue. Again, it's not really gonna, my proposal to them, they wouldn't have costed many lots or anything. It's really just or even a cost, any different development cost or anything, so.
Based on the way it looks, it's just a straight shot. To
It's
your
an easy
point, if
connection.
Woodmont's not moving fast enough to be ready for this development, I wanted to know, is that agreement or approval in place before this development moves forward?
Yeah.
I'd hate for this one to move forward and then Woodmont come in with their original plan and we lose track of it 5 years from now, and next thing you know, we got a
I think
cul-de-sac there.
Yeah, well, I don't think, if that happens, I mean, if there's a long delay or something like that, when they come back in with Woodmont, we're gonna require them to connect to the cul-de-sac, or to that stub where that cul-de-sac is, off that cul-de-sac, when they come in then anyway. We would make, anytime you have a stub street, you're gonna look at the connection to make sure that happens, so. I will follow up and try to get an answer before council, certainly, because I think it's something that's important we thought it was important too, because having a second way in and out, 70 lots with only one way in and out is not a good way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I live in a neighborhood with 80 houses one way in and out, and it can be a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
Other comments or questions? Okay. Thank you, sir. Anything under other tonight?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move on to status reports. Hal, anything?
No, ma'am.
Kevin, anything?
Actually, I do. We'll let the council and the public know, we finally did get the revised flood maps, and so they will be effective on May 9th of this year. And so certainly if anyone has questions, we'd be happy to, we have paper copies, they're also available on the FEMA website, you can get them there, but we would be happy to look over those with anybody if they're interested. Across the board, it helps some folks as far as limiting or eliminating floodplain, and it's going to go the other way for other folks. So it's really across the board with that, and some people are not affected at all. In fact, the majority of people are not affected at all. But so those are available. We will be at the March Planning Commission. We're going to have a zoning ordinance amendment in place to adopt those maps, as well as there's a few other tweaks and different changes on the zoning ordinance with regards to floodplains and how we manage them. And so that will be on the March Planning Commission agenda for April council meeting, so we adopt those well ahead of that May deadline, because we do have to adopt it before the May deadline. So,
Questions for Kevin? One question we keep getting asked. When's Whataburger opening?
I have the same question.
Oh, you want to know too?
Yeah,
Are you going to be
because-
there first day?
I don't know if I'll be there first day. But
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're not like going to camp out
overnight.
overnight? I bet you do that don't you? Like camp out at restaurants?
No, never done
No,
that.
that's
No.
not you?
Just concerts.
Just concerts. He's a concert guy.
Okay, if it's a good concert or UT
Gotcha.
game, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It'd be nice if they sold Whataburgers at concerts.
Then you
Yeah.
can-
Win-win.
That's right.
Hey,
And play the football games on the big screen while you're there.
There you go. Any questions for Kevin? Thanks, Kevin. Rex?
Mayor and council, I just want to let you know that the audit for fiscal year 2022 is posted on our website. It's located in the finance department page. And we start our budget meetings tomorrow with our department heads, and they will continue all next week, and we start off with Mr. Strange tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay.
Maybe he'll wear his orange tie.
You mean like he's doing tonight? I think he waits and does that for council meetings purposely. Maybe we need to look at that budget before. Thanks.
Don't
Rex,
worry,
do you-
Mike, I got your back.
Rex, is it like first day of school for you when you start budget? Like you can't sleep the night before?
I mean, I'm a big nerd. I love it.
I know,
can't
that's
wait
what
for
I'm
the start.
saying. I bet you do. So. Well, you know what? We're lucky to have you and that you enjoy it that much. So we appreciate that. Any questions for Rex?
I think you're doing a great job.
I agree. Thanks, Rex.
Thank you.
Are we skipping you tonight, Charles? No. Oh, I can't believe it. You never talk.
Ask him where he's been lately.
You know what? When I called him for his birthday, that's where he was. So tell everybody where you've been.
I've been to Fairbanks, Alaska. I have a new granddaughter there, so this wife and I just got back. She'd been up for 2 months, so it was hard for her to leave and come back. But definitely the weather's better. Even though they were having a warm spell that got above zero, they're back in the minus 20s now with 6 inches of snow this
Wow.
week. So it's been rough.
Yeah.
Back here, give you an update, Lowry Street, the landscapers came in this week and started. The street lights have been installed. Working on finishing up the wiring connections, and as soon as we can get Middle Tennessee Electric to come in and do the inspection on those, we'll be ready to energize them. Jenny Lane, we have the lane closure out there. That's going to be about 3 more weeks. We were hoping it would be finished this week, but due to utility conflicts that we've had with the new sewer and the existing water line, the contractor and utilities are working that problem out and moving on. Spring Hill Extension, just kind of give people a heads up, blasting out there will start in 2 weeks. We will have pre-blast surveys performed, and we will have vibration monitors on site to monitor those blasts.
But blasting does not go through us. Blasting goes through the state
It
if
goes
there's
through
an
the
issue.
state, yes, but
Right.
we will have that, and I have notified Rutherford County Schools of the date, and we'll keep them updated.
Okay. Turning lane on Lowry?
Right now, we're waiting for weather, and we'll be able to pave Lowry and remove the temporary traffic control and get that back in. So if we get some 50-degree, sunny, dry weather, we'll be able to get that back in. The contractor is ready to go on that.
Great. Other questions for Charles? Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
thank you.
Wait a minute, I have a question. When will you start phase 2 of the downtown project? I mean,
It's in design phase now.
okay. So we're still 4, 5, 6 months away probably.
We're several months away, because this one, we will include utilities in the TDOT package, and that will make it run longer going through TDOT utility certification. So we're working on that, and we've already started with Middle Tennessee Electric and the others to try to work on how to service those businesses there with moving those utility poles.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have we had discussion about NEPA after our discussion in the task force meeting?
Probably not at this time.
Okay.
But I've got a list of things that I'm going to get with them after the last meeting.
I think we were a little bit surprised by what we heard from Federal Highway when it came to NEPA and requirements for having to go through it again, so,
Yeah, I've got a
good,
whole
perfect.
page here.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So,
one more, and I don't know, maybe it's on your page. We have a new light coming on.
We do.
Are
We're
you
going to talk about that in a little bit,
Okay,
yes.
then never mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Carl? Thank you. Jeff Craig? Mr. Rose?
Here's where we're going to hear about that.
We had to, the Public Works Department had to purchase 5 battery backups. It was a sole source purchase, and it's for $29,900, and talked to Rex and just needed to announce that here tonight.
Okay.
Let's talk about the light on Amavoy.
At 1 mile in Amville, it went on flash on Monday of this week, and we got some of the striping down already. Tomorrow, the striping contractors are going to come back out and put some more channelization in to be able to bring it down, make sure it's one lane when it gets up to the light. So they're going to be doing that tomorrow, and we're planning on starting getting the light activated and fully operational on Monday of next week, as long as all the striping gets in place.
Is that the one you was talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Questions for Tom? Thanks, sir.
That's one that's been a while coming, but
Yeah.
we did get it.
Mr. Strange? How are you?
How are you?
Okay.
I would like to congratulate all of you guys that recently got reelected, if I haven't said anything, and as a gift, you will be required to complete the 12 hours of training, once again, for board member training. I'll send out an email in a couple of weeks with instructions, and so we can get back on track on that, and everybody will have until the end of this year to complete the training, the ones that got reelected, so.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Mike, is that the one?
Appreciate that.
You're welcome, Mark.
Mike, is that the one I just finished for you?
No.
That was last year's.
That was last year.
Congratulations.
We're all caught back up now, so.
But you
No,
didn't have
we're
to
not.
send me that, did you?
No, ma'am, I
No,
did
you
not.
did not. I did what I was supposed
I
to.
did mine, and then Carl will send me one, and Brian was just talking about another one. It's like, I don't know about this deal.
Careful what you wish for, right?
Right.
Mike Moss? And you got new glasses, it looks like. Very nice. Todd, nothing? Heather? No. Chief? Nothing? Do we have the costume large enough for Water Day?
I'm pretty sure it's going to fit.
Good.
Yep.
Do you know how to swim?
We have
floaties.
We have floaties. That's
We have
exactly
floaties
right.
for that.
Oh,
They
see?
go with the costume.
Apparently, our previous town manager couldn't swim, so don't worry about it.
Previous before this.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. I thought that's what you were talking about. Oh, me.
Okay. Amber? I'm good. Good.
Mayor and Council, I do have a couple of things I'd like to share. You kind of knew that already, right? Tuesday night, I had the pleasure of attending an open house at Stonecrest Hospital that was a exhibit of the robots that our hospital here locally has. And there's a couple of robots that we have that are the only ones in the Middle Tennessee area. It was pretty cool. You could go in and they actually would show you the function of the robot. And they had people there that from the manufacturing that would walk you through what the robots would do and those kind of things. What was really cool is to find out we had 125 students also visit the hospital that day to see the robots after they came out. Some of them were actually the robots that were in surgery that morning and were out in the lobby for the children to see, and they went through and did some STEM training and talking about the jobs and those kind of things. But then they also had a contest with the students to name the robots. So that was a pretty cool event, and I'm looking forward to hearing at my next board meeting with them what the robots' names were. Wanted to let you know, I think you all got a letter or an email today from Chief Culberson that after 30 years of service, Assistant Chief James Heath will be retiring from the Smyrna Fire Department effective February the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. That's what I'm looking at right here. So, and we'll be holding a reception for the council and the employees to come by and pay their respects. Also on February the 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Fire Station 4. So if you guys, we'll get a calendar event put out for you tomorrow to get it on your calendars, but just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. On the other side of that, we've got a retirement there. We also had a promotion at our police department. And I want to make sure everybody was aware of this, but Sergeant Mangrum, our third shift sergeant, was promoted to lieutenant, and he is now serving as the third shift lieutenant. We told him he didn't have enough tenure to get off the shift yet, so he's still working through that. But we're real proud of Sergeant Mangrum, now Lieutenant Mangrum, and the work he does. And I think it was a good move, Chief and his staff, to elevate Lieutenant Mangrum. I wanted to just brag a few minutes, if I could, before I get into some of my stuff, just the normal things that we do. I don't know if y'all have noticed on the monitors, the new colors, the new, I guess the word is motif that we've been using. Real proud of Chris, who's in the booth tonight, and then Heather. They've been working very hard on updating some things for us and seeing some of the new colors and stuff. That's also a design that they're using now on our Facebook page. If you go to our Facebook and our Channel 3 page, you're going to see some of those same things, and just real proud of the work they're doing. Also, I want to just throw a teaser out there on Channel 3. Chris has been working real hard on making sure that we've got good. If you've not seen Channel 3 lately, I would ask you to go out and take a look. She's redesigned the format of the front. Some things that have probably been on there and you never noticed it, like the weather and temperatures and things like that, are very distinct now, and they pop and they show up really well. She's also done some work with the police department. We have some cameras showing some of the traffic. Now, we will admit the traffic tends to stay the same because it only rotates every 2 hours on some of those cameras. So we're updating it. If something happens, then it updates immediately, but if not, it's kind of stagnant there for a little while. But some of those things are out there. And be watching Channel 3 around the first of the month. There's some other exciting things coming that I think the community will enjoy with our PEG channel. So we're excited about that work, and Chris and Heather have both done a very, very great job, very good job of getting us up to date. Next up, we see this all the time in the newspaper, or on television, on the news and stuff, about people that are hiring. We just want to make sure everybody knew the town of Smyrna had some openings. And we typically will have anywhere from 20 to 30 openings at any given time that range everything from a police officer to a groundskeeper at the golf course to, people at SOAC, wastewater treatment plant, those kind of things. There's a pretty good array of jobs that are available in just about every salary range. So if you're out there and you're looking for a place to work that I think you would enjoy, in serving our community, and we pay a very fair wage, and we have some great benefits. I've said this many times, as most of you know, my history comes from corporate America, and I tell people without a blink, the best benefits I've ever had in my life are at the town of Smyrna. And so if you're interested, we have some openings. Go to our webpage, and employment opportunities are listed there.
Did I see summer stuff at lifeguard and
Yes,
things like that are posted now?
Yeah, we're already posted for our seasonal, for lifeguards, head lifeguards, splash pad,
part-time positions.
gatehouse, all of those jobs. In fact, I'm already beginning to see some of those resumes come through. So yeah, those jobs are out there as well.
Great.
Next, the Channel 2 News came down and did a Gives Back luncheon for our police department. We just want to say thank you to Channel 2 for providing lunch for the Smyrna Police Department, and thank the Smyrna Police Department for what they do for our community. Next, we have a cooperation with the United Way. We have a community baby shower and sort-a-thon on February 17th. The town of Smyrna here at the town hall office, and then also at the police department, we'll be collecting diapers, wipes, blankets, bottles, onesies, and all different things associated with infant babies. Those will be collected between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. You can contact Shirley Key at the Smyrna Police Department at 615-267-5151, or visit our police department at 400 Enon Springs Road East, or Town Hall at 315 South Lowry Street. So please come and make donations, and we'll make sure that those get to the needy families in our community that are struggling with issues with the needs for their children. Last thing I have, and I always talk about this as we complete my segment, is love where you live. We talk about nobody working with the state of Tennessee and nobody trashes Tennessee. I'm beginning to see that logo in a lot of places. And that's associated with a litter hotline of 1-8778-LITTER. And there's fines that can be assessed up to $2,500. We're not asking you to chase the litter person down. If you'll just, get a picture of their car or their license plate and turn that into the hotline, they will then follow up on that. And as I said last meeting, we think about the litter situation just from the aesthetics of our community. And, we have a beautiful community, and unfortunately, litter takes away from that. But one of the things that also happens is litter gets into our stormwater system. It creates issues with flooding and those kind of things. So, folks, love where you live. Put the trash in the receptacles at the filling stations or at your home or those kind of things. Don't throw it out on a road, and take a little pride in our community. Mayor and Council, that's all I have tonight.
Right. Jeff?
Just make a mental note that I have not sent out any assignments to council like Carl or Mike, because I am respectful of your time.
Does that have anything to do with your evaluation coming up soon, too?
I forgot that was coming up.
Oh. Just checking. Raquel?
Actually, just thank you for all the updates this evening, and congratulations to Lieutenant Mangrum, and congratulations to James Heath on his retirement, and thank you for your years of service. That's all I have here.
HG?
Okay, on Saturday, the public is encouraged to come out and learn what the Friends of Smyrna Library is all about and how to become a member in 2023 while enjoying a free cup of soup and crackers. Membership fees is one way that the Friends of Smyrna Library raises money to help promote and support Smyrna Public Library when the library's regular budget does not stretch far enough. This is 11 o'clock, I think, to 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Yes.
Now, they generally just...
11 to 1.
11 to 1.
11 to 1. Okay, thank you. I didn't know you knew about this.
I didn't until later today.
Okay. But normally they just have a couple of the members that make some soup, and then, the public can come in and they get a cup of soup and look around the library. And this year they're doing something a little different. They've invited people to make different types of soup and such as that. And I think it's the fire department.
We have 4 firefighters that will be there to judge the soup.
Okay.
Is what we were told today.
Okay, so you checked into it after I talked to you about this?
Yes, I did.
You're doing good work, sir. Thank you. But I do have some slight culinary skills, and so they've invited me to make some soup over there. So Mary Esther, you need to be there for that.
Campbell's soup in a can, right?
Yeah. Also today, I went to the Rutherford County trustee and paid my taxes today, my property taxes. A whole lot of hoopla is always made about the property taxes, and there is a nice sum of money that comes in from the property taxes. And, I often talk about how I believe that Smyrna is one of the best bargains that you can get. And each year when I pay my taxes, I usually come in here and talk about how our taxes are 2/3 again cheaper than what the county's taxes are. And their rate is 1.6162. The town of Smyrna's is 0.52. I won't go into what that translates to as far as actual dollars and such as that. But, one of the reasons that we're able to keep our taxes as low as we are able to keep them low is by shopping local, Brian. And so I would encourage everyone to continue shopping local. It is working, and is it 70% of our budget is off of sales tax, Rex? Is that correct?
I'm afraid to say.
Okay, well, I am too then.
It's safe to say that we retain more tax income off the sales tax than we do the property tax.
It's our number one revenue.
It's our number one revenue stream.
There we go.
Is sales tax.
Okay. So there you have it, shop local. And be kind, Mary Esther. I know how hard that is for you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, sir. No, ma'am.
No, sir.
He's losing it in his retirement.
We're gonna
but
get
go ahead.
those glasses adjusted.
I got some new ones at home, but I don't like them.
He's only been retired like a month, he's falling apart.
I think I'm gonna ask to move to that spot, because it's always hard to follow HG.
Oh, yeah.
No, I have nothing else for tonight, thanks.
Jerry?
The only thing I've got is just congratulations to James Heath on his retirement, and also Lieutenant Mangrum. And Charles Neal, congratulations to you on the grandbaby, too. I know you had a good trip. And that's all.
Also, my congratulations to Mr. Heath and Mr. Mangrum. I also wanted to mention a friend of mine, DeWitt Thompson, passed away last week at the young age of 100. He would have been 101 in October. The Thompson family was my neighbors for about 10 or 15 years, and just wanted to give condolences to Rob and Kathy Thompson. They live over in Lenox Village, Lenox area, and their son, Whit. But Rob's dad was really, really interesting gentleman. He lived next door to us. They moved in there, I don't know, maybe for 10 years he lived there after his wife passed, and he was in his 90s then, so you can imagine, how he thought about the world today. So, but yeah, so condolences to the Thompson family.
Mark?
Same congratulations to all the people retiring, Mr. Mangrum and Mr. Heath. Get well wishes for a few people. I know a lot of people right now that are recovering from some minor surgeries, some major surgeries, but I know Jerry didn't mention it, but Patty's at home recovering tonight, and so wish her well. I know that your father, and you'll talk about that, is recovering a little bit tonight. Also, Harry Gill, a former town manager, had some pretty invasive surgery, and I think he's recovering. Glad to see Jerry's up and around. Jerry, through the campaign and the election process, was in really rough shape, and now his back is starting, I think, to heal, isn't it, Jerry?
Good.
So we're glad to see Jerry bouncing back. Lastly, I had a neighbor of mine, and the community may not know her much, but Marcia Reeder passed away at 68 years old this week. And she was an awesome neighbor, just a fun-loving person, a lot of encouragement. So I want to wish the Reeder family in my neighborhood, everybody over there knows them, and wish them all our condolences and prayers. And that's all I have.
Thanks. So a couple of items tonight. First, Brian and I were able to go to the Middle Tennessee Japan Society's event. It was their New Year's celebration. We did that on Sunday before last.
Yeah.
Sunday before last, on January 15th. And there were representatives from Nissan, from the Japan America Society of Tennessee, Bridgestone, Senator Haggerty's wife, Chrissy, was there, and the Consulate General of Japan, that's in Nashville, was also in attendance. And it was a really great afternoon, and got to see lots of old friends, but also make new ones. Second thing is board and advisory openings. The town of Smyrna currently has board and advisory committee openings. We encourage you to become involved in your community, and additional information can be found on our Town of Smyrna website. We will be appointing these in March, so if you are interested, we encourage you to go on our Town of Smyrna website and get more information. Couple of items. Just want to say thank you to Leadership Rutherford for having Brian and I. Brian was the moderator, and all of the mayors from Rutherford County got together to meet with Leadership Rutherford. It's always nice to all get together and talk a little bit about what we have going on. Transportation Policy Board, Brian and I were there, and our new Transportation Commissioner, Commissioner Bright, was there giving us an
Healy.
update. I mean, what?
Butch Ely.
Yes, Healy. Commissioner Bright was the old one. Butch Ely was there giving us an update on what's new in regards to transportation, what's going to be brought before the legislature this session. last but not least, Brian, you talked a little bit about Stonecrest, and we had a little bit of an unexpected surprise last week, and Dad was in Stonecrest having a little back surgery, and so I think he got to use some of those robots you probably were talking about, and he is home recuperating, and he's being a pretty good patient. Mom's being a great nurse. Jerry, I hope you're being a great nurse as well. Yes?
He was a better patient.
He was a better patient than nurse, so Daddy is on the mend, and we just appreciate all the thoughts and prayers and calls, texts that we've gotten over the last week. So, council, is there anything else? Nothing else? We are adjourned.